You know, it's time for us to cut these black Republicans dumbasses loose. And I'm not saying all black Republicans are dumbasses, because some of them, you know, do live in the world of reality. Some of them acknowledge faults within the GOP and are realists. They merely point out that the Democratic Party, you know, has faults as well. I have no problem with black Republicans that can see both sides and see the truth in, you know, the majority of matters. My problem is that you get some of these black Republicans that have drunk the damn Kool-Aid, and all they can do is sprout rhetoric, but when you ask them a question, a legitimate question, they can't defend it. They can't give you an answer when they damn well know the answer. And a lot of the times when you have them cold, they immediately spin. Black Republicans like Katrina Pearson, you know, she's half black, but I'll claim her, does it all the time. You have, you know, Hispanic Republicans like AJ Delgado. She's another spinner. You get, you know, these quote-unquote Russian Jews. Boris Epstein, he's another basic spinner. Then you get a couple of the black guys on Roland Show, the Black Republicans, and one of them, I haven't seen him on the show for 3 or 4 weeks, and I apologize, I can't recall his name. Possibly I'll recall his name as this video rolls. But here's another one, Delores Reyes. This lady is flipping ridiculous. She starts sprouting bullshit when Roland asks questions, and then when she brings up points, and then he uses the points that she brings up, she can't stay on the subject. So, you know, it's time that we, you know, really cut these people loose. And if they can't step up to the plate, at least be real, but more than that, be supportive of our people. And in my opinion, this woman is not. She is basically a Republican first and an Oreo second. You know, we're never going to be able to get our issues resolved through the use of the political process that we currently have in place. Anyway, here's an example of a ridiculous black Republican, and I shouldn't even say black. This is a case of a ridiculous Republican who happens to be black.
Mr. Overton, who is the president and CEO of the Joint Center for Political and Economic Studies, Delores Reyes, African-American Outreach Coordinator for Fairfax for Trump, Dr. Jason Johnson, a columnist, analyst, and political editor for The Root. All right, folks.
No wonder I didn't realize that she was part of the Trump campaign. Here we go.
Look at the new polling data. Bottom line is it's showing ABC Wall Street Journal poll says it's 4 points. 4 points in terms of Hillary Clinton lead. ABC Washington Post, NBC Wall Street Journal shows a much larger lead. Bottom line is here. Jason, I'll start with you. When you see Trump saying rigged, this is the same guy, though, who was touting every single poll when he was leading. This sounds like somebody who's preparing for a loss in 3 weeks.
Yeah. The refs took the game from me. My headphones weren't working. He's setting up all these excuses, and he's promoting violence. And there's something even deeper to this, Roland. It's also demonstrating his break with the Republican Party. How about all these Republican governors of blue states who are the ones who are administering the polls? So he's saying that John Kasich and Scott Walker and all these Republican governors are somehow working with Hillary Clinton to conspire against him. This is dangerous speech, but it's par for the course for Donald Trump. And I think we should really focus on the fact that this guy is basically saying, no matter what happens, I'm going to keep fighting on.
Now, that's something that I just realized at this moment. If you look at most of the battleground states, if not all, but I'm going to say most because I'm not sure of what is considered a battleground state. But if you look at states like North Carolina is a battleground state, and it's not all because Virginia was considered a battleground state, and it has a Democratic governor. But Ohio, Wisconsin, quasi-battleground state. North Carolina, Kansas, definitely Republican-controlled. Most of the battleground states have Republican governors and legislatures, and Trump is going to claim that these Republican governors are throwing the election for the Democrats. That's idiotic. Anyway, let's continue.
I mean, really, this legitimacy claim we saw with the president in terms of this birther issue, right? We see it in terms of barriers to voting. Let's erect barriers to voting because we question this legitimacy piece. It's, I think, a standard claim that is made that's, you know, just a political claim.
Delores, to watch this, and you have Republicans who are already condemning Trump, saying, how dare you cast doubt on an election process? How does this somehow help him and help democracy?
Well, let's start off with a bit of truth. Being part Latino, I know for a fact that you can go and get absentee ballots right now to get people who are not Americans to fill out the forms, or you can fill it out for them and send the absentee ballots in. So even though we have governors from various and sundry states, from blue states and red states who are looking at the election, there's still a problem here. Yes, there can be a rigged system. In fact, we know for a fact that dead people have been voting and on the roll.
So now, folks in Georgia pushed photo ID at the polls, but not with absentee. So you talk about fraud in terms of absentee, but, you know, these ID laws are going up at the polls where there's no evidence of fraud.
Well, absolutely, there's fraud going on in all over the country.
Where?
Now, I'm not saying,
no, Delores. Where?
From my end.
Notice the eyes went to the ceiling, so she knew she was caught, and now she's going to make something up.
Understanding, it is just about everywhere.
No. Delores. Hold up. On this show, what you cannot do, whether you're Republican or Democrat, is come on here, throw something out, and don't have the facts. Well, I'm going to ask you again.
Okay.
Where?
In Chicago, we already know that there have been dead people who have voted.
In Chicago?
Yes, in Chicago. Yes, we already know that there have in the past been dead people who have voted.
You just said in the past. When?
The last election.
The last election.
And Chicago has
Delores.
history.
You were talking about Delores. We were talking about the 2006 in Pennsylvania. You mean the exact same state? You mean the exact same state where they passed the voter ID law, where the head Republicans said?
Are you trying to say there are no people? Dead people on the rolls who have voted?
What I'm trying to say, Delores, is what you're doing is nonsensical and it is ridiculous. And the fact of the matter is,
to say that the elections in this country, that there has never.
What I'm trying to say is this here. You have a process, Delores. Delores, you have a process right now, Delores. You have a process right now where you have folks who actually verify the state board of elections. You have Republicans right now. You have people like Jeff Flake in Arizona who are saying what Donald Trump is doing is wrong. You have Republicans who are election law experts who are saying the allegations that he is throwing out is shameful and despicable in this country. Now, again, Delores, I'm
trying to say that there is absolutely no corruption. There is no problems in our voting system.
What I'm saying is here, Jason, is that we have a system where people have been caught, folks have actually been arrested, folks have actually been charged and convicted who have engaged in voter fraud. And what I'm saying is in Indiana, where you have where they raided an office, largely African Americans, registered people to vote, because they said there were 10 supposed ballots that were faulty, so they grabbed all 45,000.
Or the 52 out of 36,000 that they did in Georgia, or all the other places this has happened. Delores, see, here's the point, and this is the political science hat, right? I am a political science professor. I study these kinds of things. There is a difference between discrepancies in a voting system and a rigged system. That's the same thing as saying, because occasionally people shoplift at the grocery store, that everybody has this massive raid and we're doing a smash and grab at every giant eagle, okay? What Donald Trump is saying is that the entire election system, Republicans, Democrats, independents, and entire state governments are conspiring to prevent him from winning. That is fundamentally different than to say that there have been occasional absentee ballot problems, or let's go further back in the 2004 presidential election where you had all these black ballot voting issues, where you had literally voting machines that were created and bought by companies that were giving money to George Bush that were making voting machines. We've had problems, but to say it's a rigged system is completely different.
There are parts of our electric and our electric system and our election system that does have problem.
Delores, the man is saying the whole country. Delores, he is saying the whole country.
You're trying to say that you're using it as a discrepancy, and we see it as a problem.
Oh my God. A conspiracy and a discrepancy. There's a difference between a conspiracy and a discrepancy. I can be speeding, but it doesn't necessarily mean I'm drag racing. I can have shoplifting, and it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm a burglar. I can have several different circumstances where you have mistakes here and there, and it doesn't mean our entire system is rigged. And what that actually means for our country as a whole is fundamentally dangerous when you have a candidate who refuses to acknowledge the system that he has sworn to protect if he actually becomes elected president of the United States of America. And 9 times out of 10 that happened because of voter ID.
Hold on, I'm sorry.
There has been a rigged system in this country in terms of voting for many, many years. We've actually had to have black people stand there and recite the Constitution in the South before they could actually vote.
Okay. This lady is spewing elephant side, not bullshit, elephant shit, because she keeps spinning away. She keeps saying that she's acting like our complete entire political system, as far as voting is concerned, needs to be thrown in the toilet and completely redone. That's a bunch of crap. She is trying to say a few instances, and it definitely is a few instances where there has been voter fraud, is this massive problem that's going to stop her candidate from winning, and nothing could be further from the truth, okay? But she is concentrating on the head of a pin rather than the entire dress. And that just absolutely makes no flipping sense, okay? But that's what the Trump people do. They pick one minuscule point and constantly try to wheel to that rather than to discuss or take into account an entire issue. Now, she just made a mention of black people, having to do recite the Constitution before they were able to vote. For those of you who aren't aware of it, that was part of Jim Crow, okay? And then now Roland's going to get her on that, and then she's going to try to pivot away from the point that she brought up.
Hold on. I'm glad you brought that up, Delores. Delores, when have you condemned the voter suppression in North Carolina?
All the time. I don't think we should be suppressing the vote.
So Delores, Delores, one second. Delores.
Okay, no, let me finish.
Delores, I'm asking a question. Delores, I will let you finish after I ask a question.
You answer the question.
Matter of fact, has your candidate, Donald Trump, condemned the voter suppression of Republicans in North Carolina? Yes or no?
I can't answer that.
Okay.
The answer to that obviously is no, okay? And she damn well knows it. But now, all of a sudden, she can't answer that question because she doesn't speak for Trump. But she is one of people that are involved in his campaign. Yeah, okay.
I'm not sure Donald Trump. I can't speak for Mr. Trump.
Okay.
I can speak for me.
So Delores. Okay, so Delores, have you sent word to Donald Trump campaign that they should condemn the massive voter suppression in North Carolina?
What do you mean by voter suppression? Define it for me.
Delores, a three-judge. Delores.
See, now she's going to try to spin and say, okay, she don't know what voter suppression is, and she hasn't been keeping up with the news. Okay, but she's one of the people that's within his campaign. Okay, and us lowly folk, the majority of us know what went down with the reversal of the North Carolina voter suppression laws by the Court of Appeals, but she apparently doesn't know about it. Now, Roland's going to fight it for her, and she still is going to act like a goddamn idiot.
A Delores, I got this. A three-judge federal panel said Republicans in North Carolina had a laser-like focus on targeting black voters. They said they specifically asked for how many black people voted in the first week, how many black people who voted on Sundays. They said it was a laser-like targeting. They got rid of Sunday voting. They cut early voting. They cut the hours. Federal judges said laser-like focus targeting black voters in North Carolina by the Republican House, by the Republican Senate, by the Republican governor. There is your evidence.
Evidence in terms of, okay, in my view, you're saying that black...
You notice she couldn't even finish her thought, so then she said, okay, and now she's going to try to spin away from it.
People don't, or people in general don't need to have a license.
No, I didn't mention voter.
Exactly. Now she just spinning away, trying to go to voter ID. That's not what he was talking about. But she's never going to answer his question.
Excuse me, Delores. I did not mention voter ID. Delores, it was considered the federal. Delores, hold up. You brought up Jim Crow. Delores, 1 second. Delores, did you bring up Jim Crow? Did you bring up Jim Crow?
I'm not bringing up Jim Crow.
No. You said.
See, she don't even know what the hell she's talking about, because what she brought up is exactly what Jim Crow is. But she's just saying she didn't bring up Jim Crow, but she did. See, these goddamn black Republicans, especially these black Republican women, who've drunk the damn Kool-Aid, they just piss me the fuck off.
You said black people had to recite the Constitution, right? That was during Jim Crow. The same, Delores, the same. You're right. And guess what? North Carolina is still in the South. The same 3 federal judges, Delores, said this. We have not seen this level of voter suppression since the Jim Crow days. That was in North Carolina by your party of people who are backing down Trump. Why won't you own up to what the federal judges said?
Why won't you own up to the fact that they have to hold on, let me
she can't even, she don't even know what the hell she's talking about. Now she's stuttering.
finish my
Delores, go ahead.
Let me finish my sentence. To have voter ID, no matter where you are in this country, and to do anything, you have to have it. So why can't you have voter ID?
Here's what you don't understand, because we saw in Wisconsin, same Republican Governor Scott Walker, where they were dragging their feet on actually processing even the applications for voter ID when people even applied for it. Delores,
to get a welfare check, you have to have a voter ID.
Why does she keep saying in order to get a welfare check, you gotta have a voter ID? See,
I said, Delores, you just missed what I said. In Wisconsin, where they have voter ID, they were not even processing the applications. Gloria, stop defending voter suppression. When we come back, we got our headline.
See, and that's why the Republican Party will never be able to court black folks until they come into the land of the living, or the land of reality. But they can always find some stupid ass black person, because there are stupid ass black men and women that are willing to sell their souls in order to support the policies that discriminate against black people, Hispanic people, etc. And they can never explain to me why. All right, folks, this is going to be the last video, but good news, I got another 7 days, and after that 7 days, I'll be back to full strength and have my videos popping up. Thanks.